If you're wondering how bad crime's becoming in California, here's the perfect example. Recently, a city councilman was talking to the press in front of a camera, talking about crime and how bad it is and why people are leaving California. While he's talking about it, he has his belongings stolen from him. Well, I mean, this story, every time we talk about it, we get the email, oh, you're just making this up about Cal. It's overwhelming now. You've got these gangs showing up and going into malls and basically taking whatever the hell they want and getting out of town. So now what's happening is you have this exodus. You have the big line stores that are leaving. They're saying, there's no solution to this. There's no police. We've accomplished what we want. We've lowered the number of police. We don't have anybody to stop this in California right now. This story tells the whole, was it Emmyville?
Yeah. He's talking to the press, he's talking to the business owners, he's trying to kind of ease their fears, we're going to make it better, we're working on this, and then he turns around and, all right, all my stuff, my car keys, my wallet has been taken from me while I'm sitting here trying to tell you we're going to handle the crime problem. So, Saturday Night Live could not have written a skit that reflects this any better. I mean, this is almost parody at this point. They're being robbed while talking to the press.
It's L.A., it's San Francisco. This little town is Emeryville. I don't know where the hell Emeryville is, but the story comes out, and the headlines on Emeryville, for example, were that there was a mob of teens that had the folks working at Bath and Body Works in the storage part of the store fighting for their lives. They were worried about being killed by the mob of teens that were coming in. That's apparently that was what the story reported anyway. Yeah. And so as this is going on, I think what you're seeing is you're seeing people getting the hell out of town. I mean, the question is, how long can you ignore it? How long can you say this really isn't happening? What's your take on it? I mean, am I overstating that? If I am, please correct it.
No, it really has gotten to that point, especially you've got some malls in California that say, listen, we're not going to allow children in here anymore because it's not safe for your children to be in the mall. Mm-hmm. Because there is a risk that a mob, and we're not talking about a group of 20 or 30 people. These are groups of roughly, about 1,000 people at a time that are coming into these stores, and it's almost like a flash mob. They show up immediately, take what they can, and they leave.
Okay, so the store says there's nothing we can do about it. We're just going to leave town. And so what you're going to have in California is a bunch of dollar stores, thrift shops. You're going to have the big line people saying, this isn't worth it. I mean, we can do business in other places. We don't need to be in California. And it's taken place. It's not just, if this were only one or two stories that we saw, we wouldn't even be doing this story. But this is almost a weekly story, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And part of the issue too is we've got to find out the root causes. Why is this suddenly happening? What is with all of this sudden retail theft?
Because they can. I mean, to me, because they can. Now,
are the economic conditions for these people just so bad to the point? Have they been squeezed to the point where they feel this is the only option? Because we've talked, 10 years ago, the index, and I can't remember the name of it, but it talked about how when a society hits a certain point of inequality, it always leads to this kind of chaotic revolution, the increasing crime and all of that. And it makes me wonder, and I wish I could find that index again.
We did a couple of stories on it. We interviewed some people on it, and it was pretty convincing kind of argument.
They told us then, they said, we're right on that cusp, and maybe we've hit it.
Well, and we did the story last week where the billionaires, of course, are building their billionaire city right outside places like Emeryville, right? And they're going to have their billionaire city built, city on the hill, and looking down in Emeryville and San Francisco and L.A., and saying, y'all get by the best you can. We're putting up our gates. And there could be that division. I don't rule it out. I just think my first inclination is they're doing it because they can get away with it right now. At least at some point, they've got to look at some of the most deep-rooted problems that are bringing this about.